All right, guys, thank you for joining me here again on Instinctive Addiction. I had some guys ask me some questions, or one particular question this week that I wanted to try to address and see if I might be of a little bit of help with. Some guys asked me, they said, Jeff, how do you shoot long distance? Instinctive. I mean, really, how do you do it? How can you hit long distance with a traditional bow and be halfway consistent or accurate? And everybody knows it's not an ethical shot. To me, anything past 30-35 yards is getting kind of out of the ethical because a deer can move. Anything can happen with a bow that's shooting 160-70 feet per second, or even if you got one that's cooking 200, it's still slow. To a deer, it's slow. 350 feet per second compounds are slow to a deer. Okay, so enough about that. Back to how do you hit. All right, guys, the best way I can explain it through just developing my own shot process and a lot of practice. I am strictly an instinctive archer, and that means that I pick a spot, focus on it, and let my body do the rest. I know it sounds crazy, but that's exactly how it happens. All right, the first thing you have to do is you have to maintain really good form, consistent form. Your shot process has to be consistent for it to work. If you get a bad release off the string, if you barely pluck the string, greatly will affect your right and left or whatever. It'll throw your shot off. You can't grip the bow too tight. Things really show up when you pass 20 yards. I promise you. Even shooting compounds, same way, same thing. You know, I shot compounds for years and years, and if you don't get a smooth, clean release, it's going to affect your arrow impact at long distance. Okay, now I will admit one thing. Being a totally instinctive archer, yes, I can see where my arrow is at in my peripheral vision. You would have to be blind not to see it. I don't use the tip of the arrow to point or aim or anything. I don't have a point on or a gap or any of that. I don't have any of that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. I personally just do not. I ignore it. Okay, but my peripheral vision is part of my natural process. Yes, my eyes see where it's at. Yes, I can tell where that arrow is at, right and left. In other words, when I'm at full draw, I can tell if my arrow is lined up with that target right and left or not. My peripheral tells me, okay, it's there, all right? Call it using the arrow if you want to. I don't, because I'm not looking at that arrow in any kind of way. My focus is on that target. Never off what I want to hit, whether it is a frog on the side of a pond in the middle of the night with a flashlight and a 2-inch white light shining around this thing. I can't reference arrows in the dark. I can't shoot hogs at night. I can't do anything like that looking at an arrow that you cannot see. Okay, so now to hopefully answer that question, I do not use the arrow in any kind of way for an aiming device, not even with elevation. My body naturally knows how to elevate at these distances because I know my bows. I shoot them so much that I know what each bow does. In other words, if I grab a light poundage bow that just does not have the energy that this particular bow has, then I know I'm going to have to elevate a little bit more. And I would probably have to shoot that bow once or twice to see, okay, how much trajectory that arrow has. Where is that arrow tanking at? I'd learn it real quick, and then after a shot or two, absolutely I can grab that thing and hit about whatever I want to. But starting out, no, you could not possibly know that. So you got to learn your own equipment. I know my equipment very well, and I know what it does. So all I do is pick that spot, come to full draw, focus on what I want to shoot, and try to get a good clean release, and it just happens. It happens, guys. There is no way to break it down and explain it. Just have to practice it. Practice makes perfect. I promise you guys, that's all it is. Practice. All right, so I'm gonna shoot one just to show you guys what I do here. At 45 yards, I've got the big doe target set up there, and all I do is pretend in my mind that that's a real deer, and I know where that lung's at, and I want to put that arrow through that lung. That's what I do in practice. Whether I would shoot this far or not in a real situation has nothing to do with it. I'm still practicing on a deer body that I'm shooting at. So I want to, more or less like Byron Ferguson says, become the arrow. I want to know where that arrow is going to go, and if I glue my eyes to that target and I get a good clean release, the body's gonna do the rest. It's gonna be there. But again, through practice. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a whirl and see if I can even hit this thing after all that. All right, old Sally out there, 45 yards, 49-pound bow, 550 grain arrow, hunting weight arrows. Here we go. Bingo, right smooth in there. That's what I'm talking about. Love it, man. All right, let's just pick another one. I don't know how many of these targets you guys can see, but I got a wolf target over there. Hey, same distance from here, 45 yards. I'm gonna see if I can put one in that thing from here, just to shoot at something totally different. Not since I have an arrow in the kill on that one deer, I'm not gonna sit there and stare at that one arrow. I'm looking at a blank body that I have to imagine where I want that arrow to go, a fresh scenario, if you will. Here we go. Bingo, right in there. I'm telling you guys, it's not hard. 45-yard shots are actually easy. 50-yard shots are easy if you practice them enough. And it makes the short shots seem super easy when you master the long distance. But there again, it just comes through your equipment, whatever you choose to shoot with or do. So I hope this helped you a little bit. I just love doing this because it's just so fun. It's just fun. You just got to get out there and practice with your own equipment. Let it happen, man. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day. Love y'all. See you later.